Pete, our next guest is a man who recently became a dad. He's Kyle from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Kyle, go ahead.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show as well. So I thought about what question to ask you, and that's as an always one, what your favorite Green Jello song is, or a quote from a former player that I've been curious about for a long time. And as much as I really want to know what your favorite Green Jello song is, I'll use my question to fill my curiosity. So I've heard a quote from Chris Carter years ago, and he said something along the lines of, if fans really knew what happened behind the scenes with teams, they would not like the NFL as much. And I've always wondered what he meant by this. Did he mean something along the lines of players or coaches' attitudes, steroids and drugs, the nasty business side of sports? Do you have any insight on that you could share with us?
To speak directly to what he was talking about, I don't know. Is there an ugly side to this game? Absolutely. It's a very competitive game. There's a lot of money at stake. There are temptations to cheat. People cheat, and there's a lot of different ways of cheating now. It's not just, like the Bill Belichick way of maybe deflating footballs. I'm talking about performance-enhancing drugs, and you're talking about cortisones and all these kinds of things that you can do, that teams can do to keep players on the field. Those things all come back to haunt you, and you can only get so much out of your body, and you're gonna have to pay a price for that. Someday. Some of the things that he's talking about is you're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with these guys that in a lot of ways are different. They're broken. They're nuts. They're crazy. Never met a good linebacker that wasn't half nuts. And a lot of times this stuff carries over into their personal lives and off the field. And a lot of times things happen that no one hears about. But the players know, and they hear about it. And one of the other things is when you're in a locker room, and depending on these guys, you can't fool them. You are who you are, and you kind of drop. And you go to work every day, and you don't tell people what you're thinking because you know that would be counterproductive, and that's not going to help. Well, when you're in the NFL, you by all means step up and tell people what you think. If you don't like them, it's a completely different atmosphere. Part of it is the bravado of the whole thing, where this is our world, this is our locker room, we do what we do, and we don't really care what everybody else thinks. And I think for Chris, it's kind of bridging the gap between trying to be real, if you will, about would a normal person kind of understand and accept what's going on. And I think I kind of agree with him. I think a lot of people would not accept what goes on in the locker room and the attitudes that these guys have, but do I think it's necessary? In a lot of ways, yes. I don't think you can grab a bunch of normal people and stick them out on the field. I don't care how much you pay them, and have them repeatedly go out and do what a lot of these guys did.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Pete, I've never actually had my suit frozen and hung back in my office or my locker.
No, because you'd fire somebody. Right?
You're right.
Yeah, you'd fire somebody. It's just it is. It's a different world. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's you love it. There's no ranking. Everybody's kind of the same. There's a bit of a pecking order that does get established.
It's Lord of the Flies in a lot of ways. Lord of the Flies is probably one way of looking at it.